Hey there, beautiful people. I'm Tracy Rigdon, and this is the Contrast Project. We have with us today the lovely Miss Barbara Colaciello.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
We had a lot of things to talk about. Your involvement in the community, the arts community. You've been doing plays. First of all, tell us about this little space over there in the CoRK District called BABS'Lab.
Yeah, I'm really lucky to have this space. Years back, a bunch of my friends at CoRK were telling me, spaces come up, it would be perfect for you because they wanted a performance space. And most of the studios are for visual artists.
Right.
So I just one day decided to call it BABS'Lab. And that name really stuck. People would remember it. So I literally was at the Mayo getting tests, and a nurse said to me, "Wait, are you Babs of BABS'Lab?" And I was shocked. I was just like, "You heard of that? Okay." She said, "Yeah, I've been wanting to go there." So my space is focused on storytelling and training people to feel comfortable telling stories and presenting a lot of solo work. Getting people that I know have stories to tell and are really talented, but they need that push. They need a facilitator or a director.
Right.
And I like to provide my space. I give them great deals. They don't really rent space from me. I provide the event insurance. I'll direct them if they need it. And we come up with something where we both make money. Which is very important.
Well, yeah.
You know,
to keep the doors open.
Well, for me, but also for artists. Like for years, when I directed Letson, we would work so hard. We'd bring shows to New York, Baltimore. We'd do stuff in town. By the end of the run, we hardly made anything. But the person, the restaurant owner, the theater person, they did great. We brought an audience for them.
Right.
And we got very little. So I was like, I'm going to have a different model. The artists need to make money, and if that means my making less money, I don't care.
Yeah. This pandemic has hit a lot of artists hard.
I closed my doors.
I know. We had Hope over here a while back, and we were talking about that, and not just in closing the spaces, but. What bleeds from that is the fact that people are not going out, so they're not going to the galleries, and most of the galleries are closed anyway.
Right.
An artist in North Florida, because it's not the art mecca of, the South, but an artist in Jacksonville, has to be able to do, something with their art to make money. Most of them have full-time jobs on the side because it's just not selling here in Jacksonville for the most part. So a lot of them have gone to the virtual gallery thing.
Right.
Because if they rely on the physical gallery at this time, even post-pandemic, it may be tough to get the wheels rolling again.
Right. Yeah. What I ended up doing was doing some outdoor events because CoRK has a courtyard.
Right.
And I got people to come in. We cleaned it up. Already had some lights up there. And it worked. I mean, people showed up. Right. Everyone had to wear masks. Everybody was 6 feet apart.
Right.
But everyone was so thankful to be able to just listen to stories quietly, no fanfare. On my invitation, I said, no hugging. One of my rules.
But they wanted to.
You could wait. Yeah, people were like, okay.
Elbow bump.
Did you just hug?
Now, let me ask you something else. I was going to mention that you nurture and mentor, budding artists on their storytelling and everything. Tell us something about the slams you've been having. You've recently had a virtual slam.
Yeah, Saturday night. And we had done a couple of those at the beginning of the pandemic.
Right.
Maybe 2 or 3 of them. I wasn't in love with them. I also then... my personal life got so crazy, and I ended up having COVID, but not knowing it. So I wasn't feeling well. So I went through that period. But then when I started the outdoor events, those were good. Got too cold. But the one Saturday night was real fun, and it was celebratory.
Right.
Because I decided to do a Facebook fundraiser, which I had never done before,
and did quite well.
I know. I was trying to raise $2,000. I put it up on about midnight, went to bed, like literally woke up and forgot about it. And when I went to check in, I was $800. Like after my shower, it was $1,100, and I thought, okay, I better make it to $3,000 because I think I'm going to get to $2,000 today. And in 2 days, I raised $4,500.
Amazing.
And I was it's really made a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
I could take, a breath. And now I have money to support my projects going forward.
Right.
Because I'm doing outdoor events. I'm going to do outdoor slams. I'm working on my one-woman show that I got a grant for, but I'm going to need help with that.
Right.
And with social media stuff, I need people to help me do more things virtually.
Yeah.
And I'm not the expert. I want to hire experts.
Well, when you're a one-person show or a one-person operation, for that matter, the social media has got to be tended to daily, and
I do all of it right now.
Yeah,
and not so badly, but I need help.
It really is a handful. Tell us a little bit about the Community Arts Foundation.
Yeah. So. My grant is for a new play that is open-hearted, and it's about my being a caregiver for my mom, who's now 98 and a half. She came, I guess, when she was about 94. And in the midst of my taking care of her, out of nowhere, I found out I needed open-heart surgery.
Right.
And so it was the nurse used to tell me it was a major operation, and so I had my own recovery while I was taking care of her, plus my blooming business. BABS'Lab was doing great, and I had got another grant, a $15K grant to produce Chalk, Letson's play Chalk, about bullying at the Florida Theater. So all of these three things kind of merged together, and the only way I did it was really having that project, and people were coming to my house. I was in bed. I was having a hard time just getting up and down without help. And I was having rehearsals from bed. I felt like Matisse, and then I get so involved with rehearsing. All the pain went away. I barely took painkillers.
Right.
I mean, my recovery was really graced by that.
Well, the art was
my art.
Yeah, it was therapeutic.
It was super therapeutic, and it kept me connected. Because you're very isolating when you're recovering. And apparently, I didn't know this, but with open heart surgery in particular, people get super depressed. Like they really, because they've opened you like the most vulnerable place, right? They've opened you up. They've touched your heart. They don't put the shields back on the heart. You hear your heart pounding. It's like it can freak you out a little bit. So I had
I took care of some open heart patients when I worked in the hospital. I was an ICU nurse for 22 years.
Oh, wow. Okay, so then you know.
Yeah. We had to give them antidepressants after.
I didn't go through that.
Yeah.
I didn't have time.
Yeah. Well, you had your own kind of medicine.
Yeah, I did. I did. My surgeon, who was fabulous, Dr. Belli, he was all concerned that because, I was an actress and stuff, so he was all concerned that my scar would be straight. And then ultimately, I said to him, when I started, I said, my scar's not straight, Dr. Belli. It's like kind of crooked like I am. I'm a little crooked. And he said, I know. I was so upset. I had to go back into surgery. They had to open me up because I had internal bleeding. So once he did that, it messed up his line. So I forgave him. I was either crooked line or maybe not making it. So
well, you're here with us.
I'm here.
You got any upcoming events that are on the back burner right now?
Yes. Well, this is March, so Mark Rigdon, who's my studio mate, professor at FSCJ. He plays guitar. He's a songwriter, and he's very quirky. His art's quirky. He's a wonderful improviser. So he had performed at one of my outdoor slams, and people came over to me, and they were like, Mark Rigdon's a genius. He was so funny. And so I said, Mark, you should do a show. So he's doing a show called Gardy Lou, which is what people called out in old English times, they would say "gardy-loo," meaning that they were emptying the chamber pots of their stuff out on the street,
out the second
and they
story
go
window.
"gardy-loo," and so that's the name of his show, because he said he feels like he's going to be.
I like that.
Yeah, so it's almost sold out, and I have Mama Blue.
Right,
She's doing not just singing; she's doing a one-person show that she's creating for BABS'Lab. And that's going to be in May. That's going to be in April. I'm in May. My show's going to be in May. June, I have Kelly Suzanne doing an art exhibit.
She was in here.
And I'm hoping some place in there, I'm going to have Willie Evans doing something. He's a CoRK studio mate, and he and I have done a lot of work together, and we've been in conversations. He's going to be helping me, collaborating with me on my play, Open Hearted.
Fantastic. Well, we're so glad that you took the time to be here with us today.
Yeah, no.